Welcome to Starwatch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next.
The moment the news surfaced, there was no dramatic announcement, no celebratory press conference, and no triumphant speech delivered to the cameras. Yet within hours, the atmosphere around the industry shifted in a way that was impossible to ignore. What Wang Yibo revealed this time was not loud, but it landed with unmistakable force. For those who once questioned his place, doubted his choices, or quietly waited for him to fade, the message was clear without being spoken. This was not noise. This was consequence. In an industry that moves quickly and forgets even faster, moments like this do not happen by accident. They arrive when patience has outlasted doubt, when work has quietly overtaken opinion. And perhaps that is why this development felt so striking. It did not feel like a comeback, or a response, or even a victory lap. It felt like the room itself had adjusted its tone. People who once spoke freely now paused. Those who dismissed him earlier suddenly chose their words more carefully. Not because anyone demanded it, but because the evidence had reached a point where silence was the only honest reaction. If you sensed that something important had just happened, you were right. And if you are wondering why this moment matters far beyond a single announcement, stay with us, because this story is not about applause. It is about recognition, earned the hard way. For a long time, Wang Yibo existed in a curious space within the public conversation, visible everywhere, yet persistently questioned. Admired by fans, scrutinized by critics, and often reduced to labels that never quite captured the full picture. He did not arrive with the traditional credentials many expect from a serious actor. He did not follow the safest path, nor did he rush to explain himself when opinions turned sharp. Instead, he worked. Quietly, steadily, and often under conditions that rarely make headlines. What many people overlooked was how deliberate his choices had become over time. Each role carried more restraint, more internal logic, and more respect for the craft itself. There was no attempt to win arguments online. The focus remained on the screen. Those who paid attention noticed the details first. The way his performances began to slow down, allowing emotion to surface naturally rather than forcefully. The way silence became as effective as dialogue. In certain scenes, it was not what he said, but how long he waited before saying it. That kind of control does not come from instinct alone. It comes from understanding pressure and learning how to hold it. Behind the scenes, he approached preparation with a discipline that surprised even seasoned professionals. Whether studying unfamiliar environments, adapting physically to demanding conditions, or observing the rhythms of lives far removed from his own, he treated each project as a responsibility rather than an opportunity for display. Over time, these choices began to accumulate, not as headlines, but as trust. Directors became more confident in placing weight on his shoulders. Production teams noticed his consistency. Co-stars spoke, not with excitement, but with reassurance. And slowly, the narrative began to change, not because anyone corrected it, but because it no longer fit. When two of his works appeared prominently within the most selective broadcast framework in the country, the significance was impossible to downplay. This was not promotion. This was placement, a signal that speaks less to popularity and more to reliability, theme and alignment with broader values. Within this context, recognition carries a different meaning. It is not awarded lightly, nor is it influenced by momentary attention. What followed only reinforced that message. Projects still in progress attracted early confidence from platforms that rarely commit without certainty. Industry observers took note not with excitement, but with calculation. This was a shift measured in decisions, not applause. For Wang Yibo, it marked a moment where past doubts no longer required addressing. The work had already done that. His trajectory demonstrated something increasingly rare, a career shaped by restraint rather than reaction. In choosing substance over speed, he allowed time to become his ally. And time, in this case, delivered clarity. What makes this moment particularly striking is how quietly it arrived. No declarations, no comparisons, just a visible adjustment in how the industry responded. For those who once insisted that effort alone was not enough, the present offered a calm rebuttal. Talent, when paired with discipline and patience, does not always announce itself. Sometimes it simply becomes undeniable. And when that happens, the conversation changes without permission. This is why the impact feels so strong. Not because it silences critics, but because it renders their arguments irrelevant. In a space often driven by immediacy, Wang Yibo's journey suggests another possibility. That longevity can still be built. That recognition can still be earned gradually. And that consistency, though less dramatic, remains deeply powerful. The industry did not reward noise. It responded to proof. As viewers, moments like this invite reflection, not only on one artist's path, but on what we choose to value. Behind every visible outcome lies a stretch of time where effort went largely unnoticed. And perhaps that is the quiet lesson here. Progress does not always look impressive while it is happening. Sometimes it only becomes visible when it can no longer be questioned. If stories like this resonate with you, and if you appreciate thoughtful perspectives on the moments that quietly reshape the entertainment world, we invite you to stay connected with Starwatch now. Your support helps us continue exploring the stories behind the headlines with care, balance, and curiosity. Thank you for spending your time with us today. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel, sharing your thoughts in the comments, and joining us again as we keep watching, listening, and learning together.